Okay, hello and welcome. And of course, thank you for your purchase. So these are the two pages we're going to replicate. You're going to have this page in the next hour. Right? It should take you less than an hour actually. To have this page up, set up exactly looking like this inside your WordPress dashboard. Remember, you don't have to go near your hosting or anything like that. All we have to do is install 2 free plugins, right? And it allows us to create pages like this and this. So these are the 2 pages we're going to upload to your WordPress dashboard, and they're going to look exactly like this. There will be minor editing issues, formatting issues that we're going to have to tackle. And the reason why is because if you can see the squeeze page, it's created on emailprestige.com. And I'm going to upload these pages, just like you are, to a different website. And the website I'm uploading it to is slopheadmarketing.com. And because slopheadmarketing.com has a completely different theme installed, right, than emailprestige.com, then obviously there's going to be formatting issues. It's nothing got to do with the pages, nothing got to do with the plugins, and everything got to do with the theme that you're using. But it doesn't matter. That's what this video is for. We're going to upload the pages, and we're going to set them up, and we're going to fix any formatting issues. I'm going to walk through, and the formatting issues I'm going to face are going to be similar to the formatting issues you're going to face too. Okay, so we'll go through it together. First things first, if you open up the folder, which I'm sure you obviously have opened up already if you're watching this video, you see that we have the files here. Obviously you have the buyer list activator document, which of course you can put your name on, put your links in, put your own personality in. We have the images here, that's the image for the thank you page here. We have the cover here, right? So this cover here. And of course there's another optional cover if you want to use it too. And if you look at this file here, this is an XML file. Actually inside this file here, this is what we're going to be uploading. And these 2 pages, this one here and this one here, are contained within this file here, and we're going to upload that. We're actually going to import it directly through your WordPress dashboard. And then the last thing, this video here, I would highly recommend. This is a video on YouTube that shows you actually how to create these squeeze pages and thank you pages, whatever, from scratch, right? So if you want to create one from beginning to end, this video here, right, that's inside this notepad file, will show you exactly how to do that. Right, so inside this video, we're not going to go through all the settings on how the plugins work or anything like that. You're going to find that out inside the videos, right? In the video inside YouTube, right? That's inside this notepad document, right? Straightforward. I highly recommend that you watch this first to give you a good idea of how these plugins work. And it's only a 13-minute video, so you're not really losing much time. But I highly recommend that you watch this video first. So in this video, all we're going to do is we're going to upload these pages, and then we're going to fix any formatting issues. So the very first thing we need to do, well, you need to go to your WordPress dashboard if you haven't already, log into your website, right, like I'm logged in here, and go to the plugin section because we need to install 2 plugins. So once inside your WordPress, once inside your website, go up to plugins and go to click add new. And the 2 plugins we're looking for, the first one, if we go over to the right hand side here, see keyword, all you have to type in here is Beaver Builder. Beaver Builder. In fact, if you just type in Beaver, it should populate and it should be the very first one. So I'm going to do it right now. Alright, so if I type in Beaver, it's the very first one. You see in the top left hand corner? WordPress Page Builder Beaver Builder. This is the plugin here. You see with the orange image. There's other Beaver Builder plugins here, don't worry about them. And don't worry about having to upgrade when you install this, right? The free version is all we need, and it's completely unbranded, right? So it's a free version is all we need. That's all I have is a free version. So I want you to install that plugin and then activate it. And once activated, I think it brings you to a settings page. Don't worry about that. You don't have to change any settings. Just install this plugin and activate it, and then come back to your plugins page because we need to install one more plugin. So go back over to the right hand side to keyword, and this time we're going to type in blank slate. I think if you just type in blank, like I'm going to do now, it will populate. So I just typed in blank, and I'm waiting for it to populate now, and it should be the very first one. You see it here? And the image here with the brushes on it, so you know which one it is. It's very hard. You won't be able to confuse it with anything else on this page. But it's blank slate. And again, I want you to install that plugin and then activate it. Right? And then once you've done that and you have them 2 plugins installed and activated, like I have here at the top, see the 2 of them? Once we have these installed, well then when we upload this XML file, automatically these pages will be rendered to look like this, right? A couple of formatting issues based on your theme, but we'll fix them no problem. But in order for these pages to look like this, we need to have these 2 plugins installed and activated. And if you want to know how to use these, like blank slate for example, That's just a simple plugin that when you're creating a new page, we're not going to create a new page in this video. The one on YouTube that I want you to go and watch, that's where we create a new page, right, to give you a better understanding on how to create these these squeeze pages from scratch. But blank slate, essentially what it does is that it gets rid of the sidebar on your page when you create a new page, the sidebar, the header, gets rid of all that and just gives you a blank page to work off. Because when we create a squeeze page, of course, we don't want any distractions. We just want everything on the page that's right here. Does that make sense? But again, watch that YouTube video to get a better understanding. So now, once you have these two plugins installed and activated, now we can go and upload this XML file that's in the folder. And we're going to do that right now. And quite simply, go back over to your dashboard, see on the left-hand side here. And we're going to go down to Tools and then to Import. Okay, so just click on that. And you land on a page like this, see Import. If you look down the very bottom here, we see WordPress. So before we upload this XML file, we need to run Importer. Right, so just click on that link there, Run Importer. Left click on it once. And now we're ready to browse for that file and to import it into our own WordPress site. So I'm going to click on Browse. And then inside the folder that you've downloaded, we have the action cover. We have the buyer list in it. These are the images. And we're looking for here the XML file, the XML document, Email Prestige WordPress. Right, see this one here? Just double click on that. And then Upload File and Import. Right, and now we're almost finished now. We're almost finished. That's how simple it is. You see you're going to be left with this page now. Right, it's going to say Assign Authors. Right, and this means that, okay, if you look at this here, it says Import Author Nalsaid. Well, that's me. So when I created these pages, Nalsaid, if you look on the right hand corner, see the top right hand corner, Howdy Nalsaid. So that's obviously the admin username I have for Email Prestige. Right, so that was Nalsaid. It was the user, the admin that created these pages. But I didn't import, right? So I didn't assign an author to this. So you can leave all of this blank. If you want to, you can put in your own admin name here. But there's no need to. It will automatically be assigned to the admin of your website, right? So you don't need to touch anything else here. The only thing I want you to do on this page here is see Import Attachments. I want you to check this box. And the reason why I want you to check this box, because the attachments would be the cover here, the opt-in form, and the image here. Right, these are the attachments. And we're going to outchange these for the ones that are in the folder. But we want to import these attachments just so when we look at the pages, then we have them populated with the cover and the opt-in form. And then we can, it's easier to outchange them that way. Okay, so on this page here, you don't have to worry about assigned authors. Makes no difference. Just check the box that says download and import file attachments, and quite simply press submit. And as you can see, all is done. Right, all done. Have fun. You'll see this little error. See, I'm getting the error too, and you'll get it too. All this means is that, look, it fails to create new user for Nalsaid. And that's good, because you don't want the new user. The post will be attributed to the current user, which is you. Right? So don't worry about that failed. That means nothing. The post will be, these pages now will be attributed to you. So for me, it'd be Declan O'Flaherty. Okay? And that's it. Those pages now are inside your WordPress site. But they're not published yet, because we still have to edit them. You have to put your own opt-in form in and put the images in, okay? And probably a couple of formatting issues we have to change as well. So where they are now are inside, not in your pages as published posts, but in your drafts section. So if you look up the top here, you see my drafts? It has 2 pages in here. Yours should be the exact same. So there they are now. Lost leader, lost leader. And that really is buyer list activator. I know the cover says buyer list activator, but it could be either name. It's the lost leader method, the buyer list activator, whatever you want to call it. So you can change these names to buyer activator if you want to. But as we can see, we have the 2 pages now ready to edit. We have the first one, which is the thank you page, and then obviously the squeeze page here, lost leader squeeze. Now, the very first page that we're going to edit, we're going to fix first, is not the squeeze page, but the thank you page. And the reason why we want to fix the thank you page first is because we want to publish this then and get the link. Because as soon as this is sorted, this page here, and you have it done, formatted and ready to go, as soon as you publish it, then you have the link. And once you have the link, then of course when you're putting your opt-in form in, when you're creating your opt-in form inside Aweber or GetResponse or Infusionsoft or whatever it is, then obviously you put the link in there to redirect people to the thank you page when they sign up. So that's why it's best that we create the thank you page first to get that link. Does that make sense? So the thank you page here, this is what we're looking, this is the original one, and this is what we're looking to replicate. So we leave it here for demonstration purposes. So let's go back to here, Lost leader, thank you, the very first page here. You see page builder? Just left click on that once. And as you can see, there's the page. And it's looking pretty good. Okay, it's not looking exactly the same as this. You can see that the formatting issues. But again, that's down to the team and nothing else. So let's go and fix this right now. Should only take a few minutes. If you look on the top right hand corner here, because now we're in Beaver Builder. You see this plus button? If you click on that, you see you have all these options. Now I go through these options in more detail inside the YouTube video, right? Because we don't really need any of these here, because we're just editing. But if you were creating this page from scratch, from the very beginning, then we'd be using these, the rows and the modules. So go through that YouTube video if you want to learn how to use all these. The only thing I will say right here is that if you look at the very top here, you see where my cursor is? If I put my cursor in the center, just say in the middle of congratulations, you can see that blue box that goes right around that word. That is a module. See if we go into modules here? That's a text editor, right? It's a text module. Now, if I move my mouse outside that blue box, the congratulations, you'll see that now there's another blue box that appears, and it goes right the way across the screen. That, my friend, is a row, and it's a one column row. So it's a one column row going right across the top, and then in the center is the text editor module, right in here, congratulations, right, this one here. So if we look at the rows again, and again, you don't need to fully understand this right now. You will when you watch the YouTube video. So if I wanted two columns here, well, if you look at down here, we have the image here, right? If we look at the image here, you see where the blue box surrounds it? Well, that's one module, right? It's actually one column. The blue box is actually a column, right? So if we look at the two columns here, well, this blue box is one column, and then the text over here, see the blue box? That's another column, okay? So in order to create that, we would just drag the two columns over. And what that does is that if you see if I put my mouse on the outside here, see that blue box that's going right away across the screen? That's a one column that goes right away across the screen. And inside that, we have our two columns. So if I drag this two columns over here, I can actually do it. I'll drag it over and I'll put it in the center here. You see what we have here now? Right, we have the two boxes in the middle, right? And then if we go just outside it, we have this other column here. Like if I clicked on the spanner here, I would always put this to full width. Click save. And now what we have is we have the two modules in the center, which we can populate, which I did here with the image and the text, right? The image in here and the text in here. And then just outside of that, you see that blue box that's going right across the whole screen? That's the row, right? And that's if you want to move the row up, move the row down, or change the background of the whole row, right? And you'll see there's a row here, there's a row down here, and there's a row up the top as well, okay? With the modules in between. There's the module for congratulations, there's the module for the text here, here's the module for the photo. Does that make sense? And again, it doesn't really need to make full sense because we're just going to edit this page. That's just the beginning to give you an idea of what's going on when I'm editing this. So I'm going to get rid of this right now. Right, so we don't need that. So what we need to do right here, if we look at the thank you page here, we have congratulations in the center. Well, the congratulations here is fine. Right, the word is fine. The problem we have is the surrounding column that goes right the way across. Okay, you see the two green lines, right? And we can call that like a banner that goes right the way across, okay? Well, we can see that there's a gap between at the top and the bottom of congratulations. That makes sense. But here it's all messed up. Congratulations is right below and it's right on that green bar. And then the green bar at the top is not there's not much of a gap there either. So that means that we need to edit, not the congratulations, right, this module. We need to edit the actual row. Does that make sense? The actual row. So if I want to edit this, I would go over to the spanner. You see the spanner here? And if I just hover over it, it says row settings. If we click in there, then we can change the settings for this banner, for this row. And what we really need to do, we don't need to mess with the style. We just need to go to advanced. And then what we're looking for is the padding, right? Because if you look at this one, the padding on the bottom is probably about 20 and the padding on the top is about 20, right? It gives a nice little gap between the word here. And we need to do the same here, right? Because there's no padding, it's all messed up. So let's play around with this. I'm going to do the top padding to 20, right? Just to see what it looks like. And the bottom padding at the moment is at 20, but you see, even though it's at 20, it's actually, there's no padding at all. So obviously I'll put this up to 40, right? And again, there's no science to this. It's about messing around with it. So the padding is what we need to change to make it wider on the top and wider on the bottom. And if I click save, it should make a bit of a difference. And of course it does. Now if I want to make it wide like this, right, much wider, well then of course the padding needs to be changed even more, doesn't it? Because it's pretty bunched together there. So again, I will go up into the column. Right? I don't go into the center here. You see the blue box going around the word. I scroll to go outside that, and now we see that blue box going right the way across. And that's what we need to edit. So again, I will click on the spanner. And again, it's just messing around with it. I will go into advanced, and the top, I'm going to put the top to, I'm actually going to put it to 30. I'm going to put it to 35. Right? Again, I'm just playing around with it. And I'm going to put the bottom to 55. Just to see what that looks like. Right, that should definitely pull it apart even more. And you know what? I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Right? It looks more or less the same as this here. Right? It may look like that one missing the green bar in the top. Maybe it looks like that for you. Well, if you want to look what this page will look like now, what this banner will look like when it's actually published, if you go up there, see if the blue button here done, just click on that once and click save draft. Don't publish it. Save draft. And now it will show you what the page actually looks like when it's finished. And you see, that looks the same as this one here. Right? And of course, you can widen that even more if you want to. Or I'll leave that the way it is. So I just go back into Page Builder here to re-edit. And again, I'm going to go down to this banner down here now. See down at the bottom here? And see the way you have the text module in the center? If we scroll or just bring our mouse just outside it, we see this banner now going right the way across. So again, we want to edit this. Now watch, see the way I'm on the spanner here? Watch if I push my mouse just outside. See the way it goes on to a completely different row. And now the blue box is going right the way across. It's actually going around here. So be careful what you're editing. So if I just bring it down a bit more and we want to get it inside, there we go. Not in here, but just inside that row. I'm going to click on the spanner again. Go to advanced. And the top, I'm going to give it, what was it? 35. And the bottom, 55. And again, it might be different numbers for yours. Right, so just play around with it, and I'm going to click save. Right, and that's more or less perfect. I'll bring the bottom down. So thank you for signing up. It's not quite center, so maybe I need to bring the padding on the bottom just down a little bit more. Right, so again, I'll go into the spanner, click advanced, and I'll bring it up to 60. And I'd imagine that will do it. Click save, and I'm happy with that. If I click on done, save draft, just to see what it looks like. We'll see that. There you go. That's more or less the same as this one here, isn't it? Now we need to change the center here, the text on the left and the image. Okay, so we go back into Page Builder. So let's look at the text. Again, you see the way I'm hovering in the center and then the blue box that's going around the actual text here. Well, you can click on the spanner to go in and change this, to edit it, or just click in the center even. Okay, you can't really see the writing because it's obviously white. So I'm going to change this to black for the moment, just so we can see what we're doing. And as we can see, it's all bunched together, isn't it? So at the end of every sentence, I need to bring it down one space. And that's the same way, exactly what you would do if you were having such problems inside your website if you're creating a blog post. So I'm just going to put my cursor on the end here and press enter once. Very straightforward. Go to the next sentence, the end of the next sentence, do the same. The end of the next sentence, do the same, and that's it. Let's save this to see what it looks like. Right, it's at the bunching it back up again, isn't it? And you might have formatting issues like this. Now, if we look at this, I'm going to highlight all this text. You see the way it has Lato here? Right, that's because the text here, right, you see the text here? That's the Lato font that I was using on this website. But I haven't got the Lato font installed, right, on Slaphead Marketing. So it's rendering as Lato, but the font isn't actually there. So what I will do is I will actually change this to, I'll change it to, you can change it to whatever you want, but Helvetica. And now I need to bring the spacing down again because for some reason it didn't work that time. So I'll bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, and click save. And as you can see, it bunched back up again. This rarely happens. Right, and I'm actually glad this is happening here because we have to figure this out because maybe you're faced with the same problem. Chances are that you're not, but if you are, this is what I would do now. I click in the center, I will highlight the text, And you see this button here? See this clear formatting? I will clear the formatting completely. Okay, so now we're starting from scratch. And then I will bring them down again. So enter to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. And then I'll click save, and hopefully it won't bunch together now. Right, now it's perfect. So now all I need to do is just change the size. Brilliant, okay? So again, I'm going to change the fonts to Helvetica. Helvetica. I'm probably going to bring it up to 18, see what that looks like. That looks all right. The top here, grab a granny and do the tango. You can out-change that. I like just to be a bit funny. I think I'm funny anyway. So grab a granny and do a tango. I'm going to put that up to about 26. Looks about right. And maybe I will put this up to 20. And I'm going to click on save. Let's see what this looks like. Well, that looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? That looks pretty nice, actually. Now, of course, you can see that it's not exactly lined up with the image, but we can fix that very easily. So again, I'm going to click back into it. The grab a granny and do a tango, I'm actually going to bring that up to 30. That's fine. And of course, I'm going to change this to, I'm actually going to bold this, and then I'm just going to turn it to white. And that's really that done. So if I go to white, we'll see now that that's perfect, right? Now I'll save this just for the moment. So as you can see, it doesn't line exactly up with the image. And if you look at the image as well, between, see the green bar at the top and the green bar at the bottom, you see where the image is not exactly centered. Now I have a choice. I can either push the image up closer to the top green bar, or I can push the bottom green bar further away. And I like the gap at the top of this image, the gap here. But at the bottom, I don't really like that gap. And actually, I can use this photo editor, this blue box, and I can edit this. Maybe I can change the padding underneath that to match the top. And again, if I want to do that, if you see where the cursor is, it's in the center because the blue box is going around it. I'll left click on that, or you can go into the spanner. I'm going to go to advanced. And then here it's margins. The top is 32 and the bottom is 28. So what if I put the bottom up to 32 as well? See what I make it even. Didn't really do much. So I'll go back into the spanner, go to advanced, and let's try it at 50 just for the moment, 52. Let's see what that looks like. See, it's just about playing around with it. And that looks more or less right, doesn't it? I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to put it up to, I'm going to do 58. Let's see what that looks like. And I think that's perfect. I think that's quite centered. Right, so now the image is sorted. I'm going to go back into the spanner again, and you can play around with this. And I'm going to put the top down to 30. Right, I think that's it. That's centered. And now I want to center this box, right, the text, to the center of the image. Right, now you can make this text bigger if you want it to be the size of the image. What I'd highly recommend you do is that when you go in, I'll actually just make this black again. What I would do if I was you is that at the very end here, see after it says download your free guide, I would put your name underneath there. Actually, just some little thing in here, isn't there? You see this? Let's get rid of that. Right? So I would put a space down here, and I would put in your name. So I just put in my name here. I'm going to bold that. I'm going to put it to Helvetica, the same as the rest. And I think it's at 22, is it? Maybe it's 20. And there we go. Change it all to white. So you see how I'm just playing around with it? And if I click save, right, that's looking a whole lot better now. And I would actually put a signature in there if you could. So I'm going to push this box down now to make it centered to the image. And that's very easily done. So what we've done so far, that's all we've been really doing. It's just pushing things down and widening things. So if I click back into this, I want to push it down. So obviously the margin at the top, I want it to be bigger. So I'll go into advanced. And the margin at the top is 37. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up to 67. See what that looks like. That should push it down. And that's more or less the center, isn't it? That's more or less the center. In fact, I'm just going to bring it up to 70. And I think that's it. Right? And if I click on done, save draft, and now we'll have a look and see what it looks like. And if we look at that now compared to this one, it's the same. Right? It's the same. It's not much difference at all. The only difference is the actual font. Right, but that's got to do with your team and whatever font you want to put in. Like if I wanted to mess around with this, I can make the writing bigger to fill it out more. But I think that looks nice right there. But one more thing we have to do before we finish up. And of course, see down the bottom, you can now change this as well. Go to Page Builder. Now what we need to do is out-change this image. Now you can put in your own image or whatever you want. But we have this image inside the folder here. See it here? And the reason why we want to out-change this image, because at the moment it's being pulled from my website. And if my website goes down, you will lose this image. So we need to upload it from the folder. And that's very simple to do. You see the cursor in the center, left click, see the image here, remove, select photo, upload file, and then go search for it inside that folder. And we see we have it here, thank you page image. So just double click on that. So it goes into your own media library and it'll never go down. And then click on select photo, save. And now the photo is inside your media library. And if I click done, right, that's it. Completely done, right? Just want to go to Page Builder one more time. So again, you can change anything you want here. Go through and watch that YouTube video and you'll see how to change all of this stuff, okay? But you can change the earnings disclaimer. You can put something in there. I leave it there because it's, you know, it's a bit more professional. It's a bit more trustworthy. And of course, you can now change the image. But again, I like the image. It's non-boring, gets attention. Right, something a bit different than what's on most thank you pages, and we want our offers and our business or whatever to be more memorable, right? Something that people remember, something that they look at and say, oh, that's a bit different, right? Even little subtle things like that can make all the difference. Once it's not gimmicky, I love that image, but you can now change it and put whatever you want in, of course. So now we're finished this page, it's completely done. We're going to click on done. And we're not going to publish this yet. What we're going to do is when you're inside Beaver Builder, it's always best to save it as draft, because it is actually in the draft section of your pages. And that's it. The page is completely done. So now we need to go back into our pages, go to dashboard, go into pages, and of course we're going into drafts. And what you would do here, obviously, the thank you page, is just go to edit. It'd be better if you just go to edit here. And the reason why you go to edit, obviously, is because you want to publish it. I don't need to publish this because it's demonstration purposes. So just publish the page and then boom, you're done. You have that link now that we can put onto your squeeze page when we're creating the opt-in form. And it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Maybe it'll take a little bit of messing around with, but once you get it done and you get used to doing this, you'll be able to create pages like this all day long. Now, if you look down here, see page attributes, you know, when you're creating a new page, see the template, right? You can have the default template, whatever, there's going to be different options on your website, but you see the blank slate there, right? That's the template. So that automatically gives you an option when you're creating a new page. Right, the blank slate will always be there as an option, okay, because you install that plugin, okay? But again, watch the YouTube video to see that. So publish the page and then get the link, because we're going to need that link for when we're creating a squeeze page. So that's that one done, okay? So we might as well get rid of this. And now we need to replicate this page too. And I'm sure the formatting issues that we're going to have on this loss leader squeeze are going to be similar to the formatting issues we just had on the thank you page. So again, you see, loss leader squeeze, we're going to go into Page Builder. And again, you see the difference. And there is a big difference here, isn't there? Even the color of this text here is different on this page. And again, you can clearly see why that would be. It's all got to do with the theme itself. Okay, so now we're going to start doing our editing on this. So what do we do first? Well, it's the top bar, isn't it? See up here? Not the actual text, but the bar that surrounds it, this black bar. Well, this is what we need to make wider because it's very narrow here. And again, all we do, we don't go into the center here. We go to the outer column here. Go into the spanner. Go to advanced. And again, we're looking for the padding. The top seems to have a little bit of padding, but the bottom seems to have none. This seems to be the case all the time. So I'm going to bring the top up to 20. And I'm going to bring the bottom up to 40. And just to see what that looks like. And then at least we know where we stand then. Click save. Right? And that's perfect. Perfect. Done. So if I go down to the banner down here, remember, make sure you know where you look at the blue bar going around the box, or the blue box going around the whole screen. We don't want to edit in here yet. We're going down to the banner. There we go. Click on the spanner. And this is go to advanced, and it's going to be the same padding. The top, 20, and the bottom, 40. Click save, and that should be perfect. And it is. And now it's starting to look a lot like this one here. Alright, this is the original one here. It's starting to look a lot like it. Okay, if I click done just to get a look at it, it's starting to look exactly like this one now, isn't it? Right, the banners are the same. The few little formatting issues we have to change. Okay, go back into Page Builder. And of course, we can change this text here. You see now the blue box has gone around it. Just left click into that. And let's make this black. It's black already, but it seems to be a dulled out black. So I just want to make this jet black. And click Save. Right, and I'm actually happy with that. Right, I'm not fully happy with the page yet, because what I really want to do is I want to have more of a gap. You see now I put the cursor in the center. We see this blue box. Well, if you look at the bottom line of that blue box, the bottom of that box, it's very close to the image, isn't it? The buyer list activator cover. It's very close to that, and it's very close to the opt-in form as well. I want more of a padding at the bottom of that. And what do we do for that? We can either click in here. I'll go into the spanner, go to advanced, and it's called margins here for spacing, but it's the bottom. We want more spacing on the bottom. At the moment, so it's at 20. I'm actually going to put it up to 60 because I want a good bit of spacing. Click Save. And that's much better. Now what I would like to do now is to put a little bit of spacing at the top. Again, make sure the box, you'll see the box around it so you know what you're editing. Okay. Either click on the spanner or just click into it. Go to advanced. The top is at 20. I'm going to bring it to 30 because I wanted just a little bit more padding on the top. Click Save. And I'm happy with that. Right? I'm happy with that. So, another thing we need to do here, and again, you can put your own fonts in or put whatever you need to put in. We need to outchange this image, okay? Because remember, it's been pulled from my media library, and if my site goes down, you're going to lose this image. So we need to get the image that's inside the folder that you downloaded. So again, we're in the center here, just left click into it, remove image, select photo, upload, and we're going looking for that Activator cover. And you see I have it here, buyer list Activator cover best. Right, this is the one we're looking for. You can use the other cover if you want to, have a look at the both of them, but I'm going to use this one here. Double click on that, wait for it to upload, select photo, save, and that should be perfect. And there we go. Now this image is inside your media library. So the only one thing we have to change now, everything else down here looks perfect. Again, you can outchange this, change the wording on it, do whatever you want. Now it's the opt-in form, isn't it? If I click in the center here of this opt-in form, you see I have the raw HTML code that I created in Aweber. Right? We need the raw HTML. So let's get out of this for a second. So if I go over to Aweber, you see that this is the form here that I put into this page. Right? And that we're going to put into this page here. Right? And again, you can design yours which way you want to. But if we look at this opt-in form now, it's just a very simple form with a transparent background, a black border, and then the name field and the email field are black. Right? You can take out the name field, whatever way you create your own forms. And then the button, the reason why the button is red is because I like to have my call to action buttons a completely different color than everything else is on the page, so it stands out. Okay, I couldn't have that green because it would blend in too much. Right, yellow would probably blend a little bit into the green as well. Red stands out a little bit more, and I find that's very important when you're creating a call to action button. Whether that's a button for your opt-in form or a sales button, right? Always have it a different color than everything else is on the page because it really has to stand out. So we're going to outchange this opt-in form, of course, for your one. So if I'm over in Aweber, and to create this form, if you look how simple this is, well, if I go up to, I don't know whether you're using Aweber or GetResponse. If I go up to form type here, you know, if I'm creating a new form type, if I put this drop down, click on body, you see the background here? Well, you see the red line going through this? That's it here. That's completely transparent. So it's not white, it's completely transparent. Okay, so I have the background transparent, the border, I have a solid border, 3 pixels wide and black. That's really it. Very, 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 very simple. And of course you can move that around and mess around whatever way you want. You can put a header into it if you want to. I mean, if you put a header into it, well then it will probably make it just as big as the cover here. So that would probably be an option to do, right? To put a bit of text on the head just to make it a little bit taller, so it matches in perfectly with the image. So you can do that, of course, and of course you do that all inside your own autoresponder service. So if I go up here now to see what it has body, the templates, if I go into labels, you can see I have Helvetica at 24 pixels. Of course you can have whatever you want, and of course the labels are black. And that's the first name and the primary email address. For the button, well, this is quite simply a button that's inside Aweber already. If I click on this, you see up here, the color of the button is red. And then the text on the button, I have send me my free report. Very, very simple. And once that's done, just click on save. Go to step 2. It's asking you for your thank you page. Where do you want people to be redirected to after they sign up? And of course in here, you're going to put your thank you page that we've already designed and reformatted. You're going to put that link in here. Click on save. And then go to step 3. And this is the most important part. I will install the form myself. We're not looking for the JavaScript snippet code. Right? We're looking for the raw HTML. Always the raw HTML, okay? So if I click on that, and then click in the center here to highlight it all. Control C to copy. Of course. I would highly recommend that you use your keyboard to copy this. I mean, you can copy it with your mouse if you want to, but when you're pasting it into forms on any website, always use your keyboard to paste in the code, right? Because sometimes for some reason, and I've seen this so many times, not on my own websites, but on many other websites as well, when you use your mouse to copy or to paste in code, it doesn't always work. And you might have problems with your code or with your opt-in forms on many pages and you don't know why it is. It could be quite simply because you pasted in the code using your mouse, right? So that's another little tip for you. So I'm going to copy this. I can copy it with my mouse, that's fine. But when I'm pasting it in, we just click in the center here, right? I want to highlight all this because this is my copy from my form. We'll highlight all this and delete it. Control A to just delete it. And then Control V to paste in the new code. Click save. Right? And there we go. And we can move these things around. We can move them closer together. You see like this? That looks a bit better, doesn't it? You can even go a little bit closer if you want to. Right? I like that. I think that's much better there. And again, you can make your form bigger. But that looks perfect, doesn't it? Right? And if you wanted to, let's say the cover here, let's say it's a little bit up or a little bit down, or the opt-in form is not really in the center. It's not aligned center. Well, again, to push these things up and down, you just go into the settings, into advanced, and push the top or the bottom up and down. It really is as simple as that. Okay, so I like that page. That's it, completely done. And again, if you want to edit any of these, just click into them and edit them like you normally would in a WordPress blog post or whatever. So I'm going to click on done, save draft, and now we'll have a look, see what it looks like. And there we go. There's this one here. I actually think this one here, this newer one now, actually looks better. It's much more compact, right? So there you go, your cover, your opt-in form, and then that's your 2 pages done. So if we go back into the dashboard, into pages, and then into drafts, we see the 2 of these are done. So if I go the loss leader squeeze, preview, nice, right? Nice. And then the loss leader thank you, preview, right? Completely professional. And there's your 2 pages. All you do is publish these 2 now and you're ready to go to send in traffic. Okay? So that's it. 2 pages done, everything done. And if you want to know how to create these from scratch, make sure to go through and watch that YouTube video. And if for any reason there's some sort of formatting issue that for the life of you, you've tried everything to get it fixed, contact me and let me know. Right? These can always be worked around. But if there's some way or something that has happened that you just can't figure out how to do just one thing and it's wrecking your brain and you're putting the work in to get it done, contact me. If I have to log into your own WordPress site myself, I could practically fix it for you in literally a minute or 2, right? Messing around with it. But once you start creating these pages and you start messing around with all the options and stuff like that, you'll be able to fix everything on all of these pages, and you'll be able to create these pages yourself. And why not create the pages yourself and then sell them to other people, showing them the same thing that I'm showing you here. Okay, so I hope you got value out of this one. I've been Declan O'Flaherty, and hopefully I will see you very, very, very soon. All the best.